name is Mukul and welcome back to the LangChain by Project series, proudly brought to you by NIIT. Today we are working on writing, but not the basic rewrite my sentence kind of tool. We're building something more intentional, something you'd actually want to use when your text is rough, half written, or just not working the way you want it to. Because rewriting isn't always the same task. Some days you just want quick grammar fixes. Some days you want smoother flow. And some days you want the model to completely rebuild the content while still preserving your original intent. That difference between fixing, improving, and rewriting is exactly what this episode is about. So, in this episode, we're building a local AI rewrite engine, a tool where you don't just paste text and hope for the best. You decide exactly how aggressively the AI rewrites your content. And just like the rest of this series, everything runs fully locally. We're using Llama 3 through Ollama, LangChain for orchestration, and Streamlit for the interface. No APIs, no cloud calls. Everything stays on your machine. Before we jump into the code, let me quickly show you what we're building today so you have a clear picture of where all this is going. On the screen, you'll see a simple rewrite interface. On the left, you control the tone, the output format, and how strongly the AI rewrites your text: light, medium, heavy, or aggressive. In the main area, you paste your content or upload a file, and with one click, the system rewrites it in a clean, predictable structure. The important part isn't just that it rewrites text. It's that the same input behaves very differently based on rewrite intensity, without changing the model and without changing the prompt structure. And like every project in this series, everything you're seeing here runs fully locally. No APIs, no cloud calls, just Llama 3 through Ollama, wired up using LangChain and Streamlit. Now that you've seen what the final app looks like, let's slow down and understand how this rewrite logic is actually built. Now let's slow down and walk through the code step by step, exactly the way it's structured in the file. We start at the very top with the imports. Along with standard Python utilities like IO and literal, we bring in Streamlit for the web interface and PDF reader from PyPDF so the app can read PDF files directly. From LangChain, we import Chat Ollama to connect to our local Llama model, Chat Prompt template to build structured prompts, str output parser to safely extract plain text output, and run family, which is the key building block for handling multiple rewrite paths. After the imports, we move into the configuration section. Here, we define a single variable called model name, set to Llama 3.2:3b. This is intentional. If we ever want to switch models later, we only need to change it in one place. Next is the LLM setup section. We initialize LLM using Chat Ollama, passing in the model name and setting the temperature to 0.4. This keeps the output natural and readable without letting the model drift too far creatively. Right after that, we initialize parser using str output parser, which ensures we always get clean text back from the model. Now we move into the prompt base section. This is where the writing logic really lives. First, we define base system. This is a shared system message that establishes the model's role as a professional writing assistant. It clearly states the job: improve clarity, flow and style, preserve intent, and avoid hallucinating facts. Then we define base human. This is a reusable prompt template that accepts the actual content from the user, along with tone, target format, and extra instructions. It also strictly defines the output format: a clean rewrite, a bullet summary, and a final generated piece. That structure stays consistent no matter which rewrite intensity is chosen. Next, we define intensity rule actions. This is a dictionary that maps each rewrite level, light, medium, heavy, and aggressive, to a clear instruction describing how much rewriting is allowed. This is how we move rewrite control from something implicit into something explicit and predictable. Now we define the build chain function. This function takes a single argument, intensity. Inside it, we construct a chat prompt template using the shared system message, but we dynamically inject the rewrite intensity rule. Then we connect that prompt to the LLM and the parsley using LCEL. The function returns a complete LangChain pipeline for that specific rewrite level. Right after that, we create chains. This is a dictionary where each rewrite intensity is mapped to its own LangChain chain, built using the build exec function. Same structure, same inputs, only behavior changes. Now comes the core logic of the episode. We define rewrite pipeline using prompt branch. This is where decision making happens. Based on the value of rewrite intensity coming from the UI, the pipeline automatically routes the input to the correct chain: light, medium, heavy, or aggressive. And if anything unexpected happens, it safely falls back to the medium chain. This is explicit routing logic, not model guessing. After that, we define a helper function called loadText. This function handles file uploads. If the user uploads a text or markdown file, we decode it normally. If it's a PDF, we read it page by page using pypdf and extract the text. The function always returns clean text that can be edited before rewriting. Now we move into the Streamlit UI section. We start by setting the page configuration and title. Then we initialize st.sessionState and create a key called rewritten so results persist across user interactions. In the sidebar, we define the controls. Tone, target format, and rewrite worldwide (Gary) are all dropdowns. The rewrite intensity dropdown directly controls which LangChain chain is executed. There's also a text area called extra_instructions, which lets the user add constraints without changing the core prompt logic. In the main layout, we split the app into two columns. On the left, the user provides input, either by pasting text or uploading a file. Uploaded content is loaded using the loadText function, so the user always sees exactly what will be rewritten. On the right, there's a single action button. In the sidebar, the user selects a tone: professional, casual, high energy, or technical, and then chooses a target format like a blog paragraph, email, or social post. After that, they select the rewrite intensity. That one dropdown controls the entire rewrite pipeline behind the scenes. There's also an optional field for extra instructions such as word limits or audience constraints. In the main layout, the left side is for input. You can paste content or upload a file. On the right, there's one clear action: rewrite content. When the button is clicked, we validate the input. If content is present, everything, the text, tone, format, extra instructions, and rewrite intensity, flows into the RunnableBranch pipeline. LangChain selects the correct chain automatically, and Llama 3 runs locally to generate the result. Now let me show you how this behaves in practice. I paste in some rough text, maybe unfinished notes or a messy paragraph. First, I choose light intensity. The output is clean but very close to what I originally wrote. Then I switch to medium. Same input but smoother flow and clearer sentences. Next, heavy, where the structure improves and the writing becomes more confident. And finally, aggressive, where the content feels fully rewritten, polished and professional without losing the original idea. And all of this happens offline. No APIs, no cloud calls.